What's up, party people? First off, if you've seen a couple of my videos going up and down, that's my fault. Uh, I've been going through some things, and I guess I've been trying to find the right words and not happy with, well, anyway, like I said, that's my fault. But anywho, the first thing I wanted to do was give a salute. I wanted to give a salute to everybody standing up for the movement, everybody around the world, everybody across different genders, everybody across different lifestyles, across different races, across different religions. Everybody that's been standing up for this movement, I salute you. Because, like I said before, I've seen the Amish, the Amish standing up, witches standing up, Native Americans standing up, the LGBTQ, I lost track of the letters, but they're standing up. Celebrities, like across all different lifestyles and statuses. And most importantly, like I said, around the world. Because I've never in my life thought I would see this type of movement have that type of effect that it could be felt around the world. Now, just think how significant this must be for everybody around the world to come together behind this movement. You understand what I'm saying? And for all those whose rebuttal to Black Lives Matter is, well, all lives matters. Okay. Well, you mean including Black lives? All lives matter. Okay. So if all lives matter, where's your outrage? If all lives matter, that means white lives, Asian lives, Hispanic lives, Black lives. If all lives matter, where's your, like, who are you standing up for? Like, you can't yell out all lives matter and be quiet. You can't yell out all lives matter and go home, because you should be outraged for anybody that's been unjustly killed by law enforcement. Even if there was such a thing where Blue Lives was killed unjustly by law enforcement. If all lives matter, then you should be speaking up for everybody, not just against the Black lives. So, but I'm not surprised, because one thing, this has been bubbling, and it's been showing people's true character and their true colors and how they really feel, which, like I said, is no surprise. Like one person I was talking to, well, and that's the thing, because what I've noticed is, especially with my white friends and my white acquaintances, there's a small amount of tension, to the point where they always bring it up. Like, I never bring it up. I don't talk about George Floyd. I don't talk about the Black Lives Matter. I don't talk about the protests. But in any conversation that one of my white friends or one of my white acquaintances spark up with me, within 3 or 4 sentences, they're bringing one of those subjects up. Now, I don't know if they don't have anybody else to talk about it with, or they just have to express their feelings and their thoughts to me because I'm Black. I mean, like, I don't know why because, like I said, I don't bring it up. I don't say nothing. But I don't know, maybe it's a little bit of guilt they feel. I don't know what it is. But one conversation I was having he was like, well, I've experienced racism. This was one of my white friends. He was like, I experienced racism from Mexicans and blacks when he used to live in Texas. So, I was like, I'm sorry to hear that. But he was like, well, yeah, it was what it was. But I don't see why the escalation. Like, he said black people kill black people more than police. Period. Like, those are the statistics. Black people kill more black people than police do. And, well, let me take it bit by bit. First, when he said that, okay, my reply is, okay, when you say that statistic, like, where are you starting from? Are you starting from 2020? Are you starting from the 1950s and 60s? Or are you starting from the beginning of this country? Because if you go through the history, are you sure black people kill more black people than the police? Because the police was on a roll there, especially through, maybe like from the 20s to the 50s and 60s? They were on a roll. So where exactly are you starting from with that statistic? Anywho, and it's not just George Floyd. It's a culmination. Like, it's all these years of African Americans being unjustly manhandled, killed, and arrested unjustly and unfairly. Like, yeah, there are some that should be locked up, or there was reasons, but there's a lot that they were innocent. So it's not just 2020, it's years of tension about this. So then he goes on to say, well, I've had encounters with the police, and, I put my hands on the steering wheel, and, when they tell me to give them the ID, I comply and I give them my ID. So I said, yeah, Philando Castile did the same exact thing. He reached for his ID after the cop asked him for his ID. He's dead now. The cop shot him dead for reaching for his ID that the cop asked for. He's like, well, I just don't see, the escalation. I said, okay, fine. Look, let's say you had a son or a nephew, and your son or nephew wanted to go outside with their water guns and play. Will it ever cross your mind that your son or nephew might be shot by a cop? Of course not. It'll cross my mind. It will cross my mind that if my son or my nephew is outside playing with water guns, somebody might call the cops on my son or nephew. The cops show up, mistake those guns for real guns, and shoot my son or nephew. And what are the only difference between me and you? You don't have to worry about that concern. I do. Okay, sorry about that. I had to take care of something. But yeah, that would be a concern of mine. Like, any interaction I have with a cop, I have to be 3 to 4 times more careful to make sure that my actions are not seen as a sign of aggression or resistance, or might end up getting me choked out or killed. Because of my complexion. So after it went on for a little bit while after that, but that pretty much ended the conversation. And I'm not surprised that some people don't get it. Because racism has been in this country since this country. Well, at least since the Pilgrims hit this country, there's been racism. But ever since the birth of this country, there's racism. Like, racism is the fraternal twin of this country. Whether it's been between Pilgrims and Indians, whether it's been between white and Asians when they was over here building the railroads, or whether it's been between whites and whites, meaning like when the Polish immigrants started coming over, or the Italian immigrants started coming over, or the Irish immigrants started coming over. There's always been some type of racism. And it's not just whites, it's every nationality in this country. There's white racists, there's black racists, there's Asian racists, there's Hispanic racists, there's African racists. There's racism all across the spectrum, all across the rainbow. Just for some reason, we've been taking a hit for the longest. All other nationalities had their fad or their little phase, but it's been pretty consistent with the black community since the beginning of this country. The flag's changed. The flag has changed. It was 13 stars, now it's 50 stars. But the racism has always been the same. That's the craziest thing, man. And speaking of the flag, I've seen a lot of people declaring their allegiance to the flag. Like, you can't disrespect the flag. They're opponents of the flag. They stand up for the flag. For this right here, the flag. What exactly is this? It's a symbol. It's an idea of equality, opportunity, freedom, and justice. That's what this is supposed to symbolize. An idea. Now, take that away. You have the country, the United States. In this country, is there equality, freedom, justice, and opportunity for everybody in this country? Not necessarily. This is the symbol for every citizen in this country. This is the idea for everybody in this country. But the reality of this country is not this. So you could stand up for this, you could fight for this, but all this is an idea and a symbol. This and the country separated years ago. Years ago. This and the country are not quite the same thing anymore. We keep trying to say it is. We keep trying to put push the narrative that it is, but this symbol and this idea separated from the reality of this country a long time ago. So when you say that you're standing up for this, when you carry this, and you so proudly wave this and say you're a patriot of this, that's all this is. We should be patriots of the country and the people in the country. That's who we should stand up for. That's who we should fight for. Which, oddly enough, this movement that united races, that united genders, that united religions, that united cultures, represents this more than the country do. The fact that people all around the world of all different backgrounds can stand up and speak up and be heard for a movement of humanity is more representative of this than this country is. That's a funny thing. People around the world are standing up and uniting for one cause: justice, equality, freedom, opportunity. But the country? 2020 is a hell of a year, boy. And it's a good and bad thing. Because unfortunately, George Floyd had to lose his life in such a horrific manner. Just so this country could show its true colors. Or rather, the people in this country could show its true colors. But I have never seen a stronger representation of this. I don't know. What you gonna do? Anyway, y'all be safe, be blessed.